come on video or you just audio? You just muted yourself.
Okay, how's that? Can you hear me?
Yep, okay.
Hey, I'm trying to get video, but I'm juggling. Oh, I'm back, sorry. Ah.
There you are.
I was saying that I'm juggling 2 meetings at once. I apologize, but we'll do the best we can. Thank you.
So, David, please tell us about the mural.
Okay, well, as you know, with the pandemic, the Experienced Yardley Group, which is made up of 4 executive committee people, myself, Jeff, Liz Young, and Heather DePrado. We had to reinvent what we do, and because of that, we decided to do placemaking projects. Because of that, we had to go back to the people who were funding the different events and other projects that we do, and ask them if it's okay to shift the money from events such, outdoor events such as Music on Main to a placemaking project. So unfortunately, and as I may have explained in a letter that I sent to Paula, that between the time constraints and issues with the virus and so forth, we kind of we're put in a position where we had to get the mural up and running faster than we had actually hoped to do. That being said, the mural is it was an idea that came up because we wanted to celebrate our borough in a way that would help with both, making the community proud, to increase tourism, so people who came to visit Yardley would have a place to stand and take a photograph, do selfies, and also to build economic impact for the businesses, particularly those businesses on Main Street and the side streets such as Afton. The artist who designed the mural, his name is Tony Napoli, and he is well-loved and respected teacher from the Pennsbury school system. I believe he just retired, but we're very fortunate to have him and his ideas and his skills. The mural is being done with Tony, excuse me, not Tony, Mr. Kramer's permission to use his wall, and with all the businesses that are affected. They came in and said that they really support this because they believe that it will attract people from out of the area and help build not just community pride, but as I said, economic impact. The people who are actually doing the detail on the mural are other professional artists and some of Tony's former students. It's supposed to last, if taken care of, with a coating, I guess it's some sort of graffiti coating, for about 7 to 10 years. I'm not sure I covered everything that you would like me to, speak about, Gary.
Okay, Joe, do you have any questions?
No, I don't. It looks fantastic. I was by it yesterday.
Okay.
Great work.
I see from the original sketch you went from, looks like a flag with a steel beam, to the Afton Avenue abutment.
I don't know the specifics on why that was changed, but I guess it was.
Oh, I appreciate it, because the 9/11 memorial is not Yardley, but the Afton Avenue abutment where the flag is.
Right.
So I appreciate that.
Well, thank you for mentioning that.
The application says that it's permanent, but
Well,
they consider it temporary.
Uh,
Painting is normally considered temporary because it can be painted over or changed.
I probably misunderstood in my taste. When I said permanent, I just meant that it wasn't like a sign that would be temporarily attached. It's painted on, but I do understand and take your point that it is temporary because yes, a coat of paint would cover it up. I understand. Thank you.
Well, Harb doesn't review paint colors typically for a house because it can be painted again. So we don't get into historic colors. I mean, we'll look at them, comment on them, but we don't typically get into historic colors because it's considered temporary. Just like storm windows are temporary because they can be removed and things like that. So I'd like to make that part of the application so that the concern that Joy expressed to me was that we don't want this considered as a sign because someone else is going to come on their wall and say, hey, Joe's hardware or Joe's plumbing, and throw it up on another wall and say, oh, well, I mean, they did it, at the bicycle shop. Why can't I do it?
Understood.
So one, it's temporary. The other, this is considered a public project and not private. So in other words, it's not a commercial
No,
mural. It's
not at all.
And Paul, are you there still, or did you sign off?
I'm still here.
Okay, so is that the borough's understanding, or can I put it into the recommendation that this is a public project or public works project and not a private signage?
But it's not a public works project.
Not public, that's not the right word, but maybe for the public good.
Okay.
May I explain that Clarence Yardley is a nonprofit. Our mission is to improve, things for the community and to increase economic impact, which I talk about a lot. And so we are not a private entity, but a public nonprofit that anyone can join and participate or volunteer. So I don't see us as we're not a company.
David, I did ask Mr. Napoli if he was going to put anti-graffiti sealer on it, and he said no. So has something changed in the meantime?
Yes. We have had some discussions over the last couple of days. We've gotten some pricing for it, and we're requesting he coat it so that it maintains its luster and increases its lifespan, because if it's open to the elements, or if someone does do something to it, it won't be difficult to clean. But that doesn't affect being able to paint over it or anything in the future. We do need to make a change, so it's very flexible.
I think the murals, the canal murals in New Hope have anti-graffiti on it. They have a seal on it.
And that is ultimately our plan.
Okay.
Jerry,
You're on.
Jerry?
Yes, Carol.
Okay. We're putting, or they are putting so much emphasis on this mural on this wall. But I was down there today and I was looking around. Maybe somebody could do some emphasis on hiding garbage cans, keeping the flower pots in control, and Buttonwood Park, because it doesn't all go together. I'm sorry, if I was a tourist and I saw the painting on the wall, I would turn around and see that whole area there. And that whole area up to Buttonwood Park is not in tip-top condition. And as all of you know, I'm very concerned about maintaining presence and maintaining places that look nice. Is there anything we can, the mural is, I have to say, is quite outstanding.
Thank you.
I'm not saying that in a positive way. Don't take it that way. I
As that,
think,
I will take
I
it.
think the colors are, it looks like a postcard from Atlantic City, and maybe that's what you were going for.
That's what we were going for.
Well,
And,
you've accomplished it that.
to address your concern about the trash cans and the flowers, the actual unveiling probably won't take place until late September. The reason being is that Mr. Napoli has to take a vacation and to complete everything and put the coating on, and it's going to take some time. So I guess where I'm going with this is that we have discussed in committee to talk about moving the planters to clean up that area. But
Oh,
there's
I wouldn't move the planters, just maintain the planters.
well, I understand, but there is a possibility that we can move it over a little bit so it doesn't block the mural. But
I don't think it will block the mural. The mural's high enough above the planters.
but we don't have jurisdiction over the rest of it as far as you said from there up to Buttonwood Park. That's, I'm sure, is a borough's jurisdiction, not ours.
Paula, can you address that?
Well, we could go and look at it. I think, and Mrs. Petty, correct me if I'm wrong, I think Mrs. Petty's asking you to put more into the area
That is correct, Paul.
to make it look better. So maybe,
Correct.
yeah.
I'm still lost. What would you suggest, and so I can get a clear picture of what you're asking?
Just maintain what you have there.
Oh, because Paula said put. I thought you said to put extra. I don't know what you're.
No. Maintain, just maintain. I mean, I was reading the boxes today.
Okay, I'll have to find out who's responsible for that. I believe that
Yardley florist, the old
Yeah.
Yardley plants them.
yeah. So I can talk to Noreen and to Sue, make sure that they can do that. And certainly, we always leave the property as good as or better than it is, especially with Music on Main. We're always careful to make sure trash is picked up and so forth. But I don't know to what extent I can do that 24/7. Paula, can you address that? Because
Can I just jump in here for a minute as a council member? I just think, first, I just want to commend you for what you're doing. I think we can always find fault with everything. But when citizens get involved and do things that are with good intentions for the borough, I think we have to remember that.
He's Yuri.
Primary
His name is Yuri.
thing. The second thing is that as far as, this is a complaint I've been hearing more often about, can everybody hear me okay?
Just some feedback.
There's
So
noise back there. Okay.
Tim, I'm going to mute you.
This is a complaint that I have heard now more often, a few times, about things not being orderly. And that's a problem. I agree. And I think we just need to get to the bottom of what's not being maintained, who is responsible for it. I don't think Experience Yardley is responsible for maintaining that area. So I don't think they should be the ones to have to. I mean, I appreciate the gesture of checking, but we need to get clear on who's maintaining it. If it's a budgetary issue, what's going on. I fully agree. It's just it's a different issue than the mural to me, but it's a good issue. And so I'm going to just say that, and maybe I think, Paula, maybe you could tell us, is it a budget thing that we need, or like what's going on with the challenge and the tot lot that you mentioned, Carol?
Yeah, it's,
I mean, that's been a problem for like over a decade.
right.
And I agree, we should, if we don't have enough money to maintain it, then maybe we need to raise the money. You know, we're raising money for a bridge. Maybe we can raise the money. Everybody who has a kid who plays there, you know, chip in $25 a year, and we can, if that's what it takes, you know. But I agree with you. We should not allow things to go into
Well,
disrepair because it
I
sends a
could see-
message. Yeah,
I
go
could
ahead.
see where Buttonwood Park would be under borough. But as far as the flower pots, if you put them there, then maybe you should maintain them. The garbage for the garbage containers for the salon there, it'd be nice if they were covered up with in a fence, like what the liquor store did.
Well, perhaps we should
Because
talk
if you're
to Tom
going
Cramer.
My point is, if you're going to have people come and visit and take pictures in front of that area, it should be enhanced.
And I agree 100%, but I also agree with you, Ori, that these, you know, as much as I can say we will try to do our part, we can take responsibility for it. What I think we could do is, if you're talking about the trash receptacles and things that are, you know, related to the property owner, which is Tom Cramer, we can have that conversation with him. The pottery, the flower pots, I can have a conversation with the flower shop. They're friends of mine, and we can make sure that they continue to take care of it. And if not, we'll find another way to do it. But I do agree with you. But I as an organization of limited budget, I just want to make
I
sure that
understand
it's
that.
not us.
I understand that. Yeah.
And I appreciate it too, because I live here as well. And that's the whole reason why we're doing this project, because I love Yardley. This is my town.
Mhm.
This is my adopted town. And that's why I feel so strongly about this mural and the other projects that we do to, you know, that people really appreciate and are notable. Thank you.
We
I think
also
have the
are
spirit of-
having, we're gonna have Ken trim up the tree because it seems to be touching the building and it shouldn't be on both sides there as well. So
Mhm.
that's gonna open it up a little bit more so you can see the whole mural.
So if there's anything that's like unclear on who's, because what happens here, which is a good thing, is we have a partnership between property owner, a community organization, and the borough. I mean, and everybody, sometimes what happens in these things, everyone has good intentions, but the roles and responsibilities get a little murky. And I think we just have to clarify that. If, like with the trash is a great example, who's trash, who's really responsible and who should be responsible. And I'm asking it as a question because I don't really know the answer. Paula, if you have a sense of that, it's great. And if not, let's get clear on it and, you know, figure it out.
The dumpster, I don't know if that one could be screened. We do have an ordinance that they are required to be, but some
Oh.
just cannot be because of where they're located and how small the surrounding area is as well.
Oh,
think
I see.
one-
When you said trash, you mean the I know what you're talking about,
Yeah.
the big dumpster. Yeah.
Sometimes when they put enclosures around the dumpsters, the enclosures end up getting whacked by the,
Mhm.
you know, the equipment, and they end up looking worse than the plain dumpster. And trash builds up around the screening and the dumpster. So it's quite often, you know, the solution's worse than the problem, so.
No one makes a decorative dumpster, I
I'll
guess.
have to keep an eye on the one at the liquor store. So far, it's okay. It's only
Right.
three-sided.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, that's probably why. So the
Yeah.
the
Now, I
dumpster.
remember when that one was put in, that the whole discussion about screening it, but that was the luxury of being able to place it and screen it from
Yeah.
scratch, you know,
Yeah.
because it wasn't a pre-existing. So that's the problem with the pre-existing stuff.
I
But,
think
you know.
the one by the spa was covered at one time, as well as the one over by the little park, but the kiddie park.
I'll
They
check
didn't-
on that tomorrow, Mrs. Petty.
Oh.
And the one over by the top lot, are you saying just a regular trash can, not a dumpster, or an
No,
entire
there-
dumpster?
No, is the dumpster still there?
Oh, okay, behind,
Yeah.
so behind
the
in the
top
parking
shop.
lot. Okay, all right. I'll check on that tomorrow.
No, just, I mean,
Yuri, did you have any comments about the mural that you wanted to say, other than it's great?
You know, I don't know if I missed, I only joined you guys a little bit later, so I don't know if I missed anything important. You know, I think you guys covered it from what I could hear. I mean, I heard the only thing I really heard actually was about the anti-graffiti paint. And so did I miss anything that you guys would like some input on?
So Yuri, what I want to do is to, first of all, say that it's temporary and that painting is considered temporary. When you paint your house, it's considered temporary. The concern that Joy brought up was we don't want this to become a standard for having signs, because someone else might say their side of their building, they want to put up a sign and say Joe's Hardware. And, you know, somebody else does it. And it's not in the sign ordinance that you can do these things. So I want to put
Sure.
in the certificate of appropriateness that this is a public nonprofit mural, and that it is temporary, so that no one gets the idea that this is a permanent sign.
Yeah, I mean, that makes sense to me because I always kind of thought that painting a house is, or, you know, painting a building is temporary.
Right.
So kind of fits in with my personal thinking. So
And that's
that
how
sounds
we
like
treat it historically.
right.
So,
And it's true.
and
I mean, it's
you
not
know,
going to last forever. If you just leave it alone, it's going to eventually flake off.
And I think council, when you approve the certificate of appropriateness, is that you're approving this as basically a nonprofit kind of thing. And, you know, if council doesn't like it, I mean, it's not like it's a hard review, like, you know, gutters and windows and things like this. It's a temporary mural. So we're more of a arbiter of good taste kind of approval rather than a hard architectural thing. So I think council should be aware of that, you know, when approving it. And I think council will approve it, and I think council and the community will enjoy it. But it's, you know, there's more responsibility than just passing on what Harb recommends. In other words,
Jerry,
yeah,
I have to, is the cart before the horse? What I'm hearing right now is, it sounds like they didn't get approval from Harb first.
right.
They just went ahead with the mural. Is that not doing things the wrong way?
That happens a lot, Carol. I
Okay.
hate to say it, but you know.
Well, you know,
I think also when you have something where there is no architectural change, it's not clear or has not been clear, maybe it needs to get clarified. You know, at what point is it a Harb issue? Because like Jerry was saying, it's paint, it's temporary, it's not a sign.
To interject thing. It's not as if we, and I'm trying to say this in a, I'm not trying to offend anyone. It's not like we tried to paint a mural in the middle of the night in the most conspicuous place in town and think we were going to get away with it. That's not what happened.
it would even glow in the middle of the night if you did. It's quite right. But
what we did do is that we took several months actually going back to, I have notes going back to February, where I've spoken to a number of people and trying to get opinions, not just, you know, on the design and so forth and interest and raising the money, but also to try to understand what direction we need to take to get approval or acceptance or whatever. And so I would say that this was would you agree, Yuri, miscoordination, not so much a comedy of errors because nothing was funny about it because I had agita for about a week, but I think that I took all the information and support and advice and I guess I blew it. And
well, you know, we do have rules in the borough, and if I was in the historical district And if I was going to change a front door or lamp or window or anything, I would know that I'd have to get Harb approval first and foremost.
And I want you to know that
And I think that's the important thing, that, all right, you did it your way, but who else is going to do it their way? And then why do we have Harb? You
and
know,
I,
if everybody's going to do
that-
it,
Well, I think that this is an outlier, this situation. I think miscoordination is a
okay,
good characterization, because this hasn't happened before. You have a nonprofit who does a lot of good.
yes, I agree.
That's doing this thing that's just paint. So it's not like, and it's going on the side of a stucco that's not historic. Obviously, it's in the historic district, but where it's going, it's not going on something where it's modifying anything.
But it is in the
Um,
historical district.
Right, but it's like if you know, that's agreed, and that's a given. However, I think it's clear for next time. Let's put it that way. I think it could be done differently next time, and
Yeah.
I think that
learned our
that's
lesson.
the takeaway.
Right.
But I
Learn-
understand how this is out of the box for what normally happens. It's not like somebody put a fence up. Someone wanted a vinyl fence, like I remember a couple of years ago, and
I
something like
guess
that.
I'm just looking down the road. Somebody could say, well, I want to do this and this, but this group did it without going through Harb. So I don't want a can
Yeah.
of worms.
Well, that's
being
why
opened
we're
up.
here tonight, to make sure that we, even though it's, as you put, the horse before the cart, no, I mean the cart before the horse. We did want to take a moment to, backtrack and make sure that we do follow the rules. And now that we know, I appreciate that, and I'm sorry. And but I think sometimes you also have to look what, in this case, what's good for the public outweighs, not that the rules should be suspended or that we, blatantly broke rules, but that in the end, you do know that.
I
it's
think,
our
I
part.
think, I think you and Jeff was also, I think you knew the rules.
Well, then you're calling me a liar, because I
No, I think I
didn't
know the
I
rules.
know the rules.
I'm not calling you a liar. I'm sorry that you
Oh,
feel as if I was.
Well, I mean, what
Well,
we're doing is we have a new precedence here. And I think the certificate of appropriateness should say something like murals are required to get Harb approval.
I agree with you.
Because there's nothing in the Harb ordinance saying that murals, I don't think, I might be wrong, require Harb approval. They might. I have
Yeah,
to
I
check
mean,
that out.
we put banners up and they don't get Harb approved. So,
Right.
it's a mural, to me, is more similar to a banner than it is to changing an architectural fixture.
So what
I
I'll
mean,
do
it'd be
is,
helpful to make a distinction, because
Yeah,
it's just
Yeah.
not
So-
clear to anyone.
yeah.
so with the Harb certificate of appropriateness, I'll put in there language just stating that, murals require a Harb review and council approval. That way, at least it's going in writing and getting council's approval. So when this happens the next time, that there is a procedure and process.
That's great.
Good point. Good.
Good. Also, Carol, just remember that something is not going to slip by, because council has to approve it anyway. So it's not like, someone could just do something, skip Harb, and then get away with it.
Well, I mean, person could say, hey, I'm just doing a decorative painting or work on my side of my house.
Uh-huh.
So, I mean, people can play that kind of game.
You
and
can
we
always
just-
have, the rules can always be bent.
Right.
Yeah.
So I'm going to check the Harb ordinance just to make sure
Yeah.
we don't mention murals. We might. I just didn't look that up. So
Yeah, just to protect yourself and to protect the historical,
district in the
Concept.
borough. Yeah.
Yeah.
I
because you
think
don't know what's
council-
going to go up next time around.
Yeah, I think council would like that protection too. So
Yeah. Yeah.
Kim, do you have any comments?
Me?
Kim?
No, I've had all my, I
No,
think
no,
I,
no, Kim is also online.
Oh. okay.
Paul, is Kim
She's
there? or-
muted. Yeah, she's muted. I don't know.
No, I've just been listening. It's been an interesting conversation, so no comments.
Okay, thanks for signing in. Is there a recommendation, Joe?
Yeah, I'll make a recommendation to approve the mural as designed and go forward with the project.
As a temporary painting?
Yeah, it's a temporary
And not a sign?
and not a sign. And with the suggested graffiti coating.
Okay. All right. I'll second that. All those in favor? Aye?
Aye.
Nay? Okay, it's approved as recommended, recommended or revised.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it. Again, to everybody, and Carol, I don't take what I said personally. I
Oh,
just,
gosh, no.
I don't mean that when I said what I said, I only mean that I was not a council person, and I have a little bit less knowledge than Jeff, and that was, but I do want to thank you, because in the end, this is what's good for the community. This is what's going to help bring us. I'm not trying to be, syrupy here, but I think this is really something that's even now starting to bring us together a little bit closer in these very difficult times. And with the other work that we do, including Yardley Restaurant Week, which I'm producing right now, is trying to bring this community, at least keep the community as stable as possible while we figure this whole, coronavirus thing out. And so,
Well,
thank you.
as a citizen of Yardley Borough, we appreciate that. Everybody has to work together.
Thank you.
Great.
Thank you, Gary. Thank you, Joe. Thank you, Ori, and everyone else, Paula and Kim. I appreciate
Thank you too. Thanks for
All
hanging,
right.
Paula.
All right. Thank you all.
Thank you, Paula.
Thanks, Paula.
All right. Have a
Thank
good
you.
night.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.
See you, Kim.